Hi folks, I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Doc Sprocket. I'm an administrator on the All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum and a global moderator on DIYGokarts.com. You can find me in both those places on a regular basis. I practically live there. My name is Chris. I'm a 40-year-old married guy. I got a wife, I got 2 school-aged children, and I'm a cancer survivor. I like wrenching on anything with wheels and an engine, anything with grease and gears, rubber, the road, it's all good. I'm relatively new to lawn tractor modification. Mule here was really my first attempt. I did futz around with some stuff before that, but nothing too serious. But the principles of the mechanics are not at all new to me. You know, if it requires a wrench, I can wrench on it. If it can be upgraded, I can upgrade it. If it needs repair, I can repair it. Small engines live, breathe, eat, sleep, poop them. Anyways, that's 10 seconds on me. I'm going to pause the camera, pick it up, and give you a little tour of the Mule here. This here is Mule. It started life as an '89 Lawn Boy LT12. There's not a heck of a lot left of the original tractor when it all comes down to it. It had a 12-horse Briggs Flatty. It's now got a 15-horse overhead valve. Let's see, where to begin? I've done a lot to her. I shattered the hell out of the transaxle several months ago. It had a Peerless 920. I put a 930 in it, and I locked it using a method I affectionately call the dock locker. I've had requests for information on that, and I'm going to have to do a separate video, I suppose. Rear tires are Kenda Scorpions, 22-11/8 knobbies. The front tires are kind of cool. You've seen these around before. Redneck Computer Geek has them, I know that for a fact. They're Carlisle X-Tracks. Snowblower originally, I do believe. The front spindles, I actually cut off the front spindles. And let me see if I can just zoom in there for a little bit. And I welded on Posilube trailer spindles so that I could use trailer wheels. That would get me the 8-inch size that I wanted for the X-Tracks. Well, let's see. Let's just tour this whole dang thing. I built the fender extensions and fenders out of a single steel utility trailer fender that I hacked up and cut to size and shape, and I built the box out of 16 gauge steel. Bumpers 1.25" square tube, trailer lights. They used to be trailer lights. I have functional tail and brake lights on this thing. I've got a motorcycle brake light switch rigged up so that when I step on the brakes I get brake lights. It's all very good. The Fender Flares are garden edging that you can buy at like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. As you can see by the zip ties, it's actually started to crack and separate. The cold weather just doesn't work out well. I've got a new idea for that and we'll get to it later. As you can see, I've got the jerry can holder and the cup holder. Can't go anywhere without a cup of coffee. And I've got this funkadelic gas pedal that actually used to be the brake pedal from a '89 Yamaha XV250 Virago motorcycle. That works quite well. Let's see if I can get just down a little bit here. You can just see, I gotta cut that zip tie. You can just see the custom cherry bomb muffler that I built a few years ago for a go-kart and ultimately ended up adapting to this. Sounds pretty damn good in my opinion. Front end, oh, let's get to her from the other side. Front end was some scrap steel tube that I fabbed into a bumper. The bottom portion is 1.25" gas pipe, if I recall, and the hoop is actually fabricated from an old hockey net. Cut the curves out of it, weld them back together, blah blah blah. Got some utility lights up there, and a 2,500-pound 12-volt DC ATV winch. And of course, you got to have some sort of camouflage paint job. By the way, Mule stands for Mobile Utility and Light Extrication. Cute, huh? All right, turn into the dashboard. This has to be finalized yet, but let's see if I can get in there a little bit tighter. All right, so the shifter used to be the PTO engaged lever. Now it's a shifter. I've got 5 gears marked on there because originally I had a 5-speed transaxle in here. I blew the crap out of that one. Now it's a 6-speed, so 6th position is just all the way up. You can see the switch in the gauge here. That's an onboard air compressor. I'll get back to that in a second. That switch right there is for the winch. I've got a voltage gauge on that side, and I've got a temperature gauge on that side. Now, the temperature gauge. What did I do there? Well, I used an automotive coolant temp gauge And I've got it plumbed in. Let's see if I can get in there. I don't know if that's bright enough. Might have to play with the lighting a little bit later. But you can probably just see that I tapped into the oil drain fitting and used some common fittings in there. And that's the temperature sender, so I'm reading the oil temperature. It works quite well. It does pick up a little heat from the exhaust, but overall it gives me a good picture if I'm running safe or not. I'm going to pause the camera for a second and just, actually, you know what? No. I'm going to walk around to this side. Get back to that air compressor thing. I got a couple of cool little features here I think you're going to like. You can see right here is the quick connect fitting for the onboard air compressor. I've got a coiled air hose in that ammo can right there that attaches onto that, and I can air up my own tires or somebody else's tires on the trail. Right next to that, I've got a 12-volt quick connect plug here, and that's for a set of booster cables that I made up for the purpose so that I can boost other machines on the trail. Now I'm going to pause the camera, flip the hood open, and let you see. Okay, so here's Mule topless. You can see that I did that wonderful emergency pull start trick, which works exceptionally well. And you know, one good yank of the cord and she lights up, and that's a lovely thing. In case you're wondering about this little sticker here, that's actually a piece of reflective tape I use for a tachometer. Yeah, there's a pile of wiring in there. It looks a little scary. It's not as bad as it looks. But you can see maybe just in there the butt end of the motor for the air compressor. And, you know, you get a better look at the plug there for the battery boost system. All in all, this thing really performs. I'm quite happy with the way it works. It's an absolute little tank. And what the hell, let's flip the lid open on the toolbox here so you can see that too. If the shadow doesn't do me in. Okay, so we have your emergency pull start cord, and we have your quick connect air hose. Rag, can't go anywhere without that. We've got a yank strap here. That's all fine and good. Now them booster cables. All I did was I bought a set of half-decent booster cables. You know, these are better than the total garbage ones. And I cut off the far end of them, and I put on this quick connect plug, same thing you use for charging forklifts and whatnot. And then I just very simply, on the other end, you know, used about the last 1.5 foot of booster cable or whatever it was that I cut off, and I put the plug on the other end and I wired it to the battery. Pretty simple. So in order for me to either air up somebody's tires or boost somebody or something, I don't even have to open the hood. All I got to do is plug in the accessory and away we go. Anyways, there you go. That's a quick little overview of Mule. I think I covered pretty much everything I've done to it. It's hard to get everything, you know, when you're doing all these modifications. But either way, there you have it. A better look at Mule, a little bit of a look at me, and I guess there's more to come because I'm kind of under the impression that YouTube is just the way everything's going. Thank you.